3, 2, 1, clap, sync. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Critical Podcast, where we get as critical as possible. Happy New Year!
2024. It's
2024 now. Yeah. 2023 is officially over. What a year. Before we get into anything, just how did you feel about 2023, and where does it rank in years of your life?
Years of my entire life. I'd say it ranks like maybe like third or something.
Really?
I like this year a lot. I think the best year for me was actually 2022.
2022 was solid. We got the Batman. And Sonic 2. That's pretty great movies.
That's when I started to get my life together. But the movies this year were great. And that's
spectacular.
That's really why I bring this year up a bit, because the movies.
This is what this episode is about. Yes. We're gonna be ranking every movie that we saw that came out this year. We have a list and everything. But go on with what you're saying.
Oh no, nothing. Are we gonna get into?
But before, for this, definitely ranks really high in my years of life, because much like Star Wars: A New Hope, you could say it was very, very important. You know, this podcast started, the channel started. Of course, that's doing really well. Thank you so much for getting our channel to 15,000 subscribers. Like, we appreciate it so much. If you want to check out all of our other stuff, we got letterboxes, TikToks, Spotify's. All that in the description below.
New Year's resolutions?
New Year's resolutions. We talked about them. Do you want to tell them our New Year's resolutions?
Of course. We will try our best, and we will hope for 2 videos a month and 4 shorts a week.
And we'll continue to try to do weekly episodes, but he means for the main channel, so 2 videos on the main channel and 4 shorts. So we're trying. Yeah. We're really trying. Christmas break gave us a lot of time to get everything together and organized. We got a good MCU ranking video coming out. We'll do actual rankings for our favorite and least favorite movies on the main channel and everything like that.
Yes.
So is there anything else you need to say about this spectacular year?
Yes. 2023, great year for the channel and everything. We were figuring stuff out. We figured it out now. We know what we're doing. And then 2024 is where we're going to put in all of our effort into.
It's going to be a crazy year. We got some big stuff.
And hopefully grow the channel. Yeah.
So I would say my favorite moment. Do you know your favorite moment in 2023? Because I think I know mine.
My favorite moment was probably riding the Hagrid's motorbike ride at Universal Studios.
Was it the adventure? Was it Universal or the Island of Adventure?
Island of Adventure.
Hell yeah. I think it's cheap to say going to a movie was my favorite experience, but Across the Spider-Verse, seeing that would definitely be up there. But we unfortunately saw it with some very, very lame people that we don't really talk to anymore. But thank God they're gone. Going into a new year with no negative friends, no negative people, all positivity. All that bullcrap behind us.
Of course.
But there was just too many great moments. A bunch of movies came out this year that made me feel great in theaters, like recently Godzilla. Having Isaiah on the pod finally was definitely a highlight of this year. A lot of great stuff happened.
A lot of negatives too.
A lot of negatives, but definitely the most important thing that has happened is this channel and this podcast. We couldn't be doing it any without y'all. So shall we just we'll talk about the 2023 movies in order that came out this year. We'll talk about each and every one of them in order, give our scores for them, and at the end, we will do our list from least to best. And then also, I have a list of, since, we are in 2024 now, I have a list of 2024 movies and we'll play a little game if we think it's going to make $1 billion or not.
Okay.
So I think that'll be fun.
Yes.
So starting off with movie 26, I believe. I saw 25 movies this year. You saw 24.
Yeah.
So start off with the first movie of 2023 that came out.
Past Lives.
Yeah. Do you know your rating for this movie?
Let me find it real quick just to make sure. All right. Yeah, I got my rating.
Past Live ratings 3, 2, 1.
5.5 out of 10.
This movie was not that great.
Not at all.
Surprises me. It's in the Letterboxd top 250, pretty high up there. What's your take on this movie?
This movie was very overhyped, and it did not live up to the hype at all.
Not at all.
There were some good scenes, but ultimately it failed.
I thought the movie really pulled itself together by the third act.
I
thought
agree.
there were some good scenes. Acting was really good. Very good cinematography, but overall just a very bland and boring story.
Exactly.
Like the whole thing is, oh, I grew up with this friend and he left and then he came back and oh, he's leaving again, and it's
and then
just
there's
like,
this love triangle.
yeah.
And I gotta say, the making you feel that tension between the two guys and the girl, I think they did a good job at that. Yeah, the bar scene was probably my favorite. That's why I give this movie a 5.5 out of 10, because I think there were some good scenes.
I really like that. It's unfortunate there was an hour and a half before all that, but yeah.
Very boring at most parts, though.
But acting was good. Stuff was fine. Don't want to spend too much time on this one. This next movie, only I saw, Knock at the Cabin, 3, 2, 1, 4 out of 10.
Okay.
Wasn't that great. It had a bunch of great... It's funny, we've been watching the Harry Potter movies, and what's Ronald Weasley's actor's name?
Rupert Grint.
Rupert Grint is like... So this is a movie about like... It's kind of like, you know... did you ever see Bird Box?
Yeah.
There's like a little event that's like causing kind of the end of the world vibes. Drax, Dave Bautista, Rupert, Ronald Weasley, and then like 2 other people. They're like a group of killers, and like they're going to these... it's like a gay couple, and then they have a daughter, and then they go try to like war. It's really stupid. It sounds stupid, but it's something to do with like the apocalypses or something from the Bible or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to get that mistaken, but they're trying to warn these people that they need them to make a sacrifice to save the world, and then they refuse to sacrifice one of them. So like the people that like Ronald Weasley and Dave Bautista like keep offing themselves, and then like natural disaster events start happening when they die, and then like the whole movie you don't really know what's going on, but like you can only assume what's going on.
Is it like a thriller or a horror movie?
It tries to go for horror, but like the gore's not that great. The scares aren't that great. It's definitely more of a thriller, but I don't want to spend too much time on this one.
Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania rating in 3, 2, 1.
3 out of 10.
2.5.
2.5. So you're slightly lower on this one. You start out.
This movie was super boring for me. I hated the quantum realm aspects. I thought one of the highlights of the first 2 films were Paul Rudd's friends or Ant-Man's friends, and they weren't in this film.
Yeah,
of course,
it sucks. I thought Kang was cool. One of the he obviously isn't top 10 MCU villain or anything, but he was fine. He's way better in Loki. I think we can both agree. Ant-Man was good in this movie. Everybody like Michael Douglas and Hank Pym and Hope and his daughter and the old lady, whatever, you know who I'm talking about. They're like all kind of, there's not nice at all to Scott, and
of course,
like Scott like wrote this book and everything, like he's happy he saved half the universe, and they're like shitting on him for saving half the universe. I'm like, why are you being so mean to him? Everybody but Paul Rudd, I'm glad he was great in that movie. That's all I wanted. MODOK, obviously not that great. I like his design and everything. I like how it's a big, ugly, deformed head, but it's
just weird and out of place.
It's stupid that it is the villain from Ant-Man 1. And there's some bad visuals in this movie, but there's some good visuals in this movie. It's weird how Ant-Man defeats Kang.
I feel like a lot of movies try to redeem their villains a lot. I just feel like the MODOK just didn't need any redemption. He was fine in Ant-Man 1.
And I thought that I'm not a dick line was so that's like one of the most cringiest MC, like down there with the ice cream scene.
Yeah, but I don't want, main thing is I hated the quantum realm. I don't want to ever see it return.
It was just, I hated the whole subplot with like all the random creatures that was giving Scott like the juice and everything, and like the guy that there was just so many the comedy was like, favorite thing about the first 2 Ant-Man movies is the comedy, and there's just none of that in this movie.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when it comes to Kang, I never expected him to be any big villain. I thought it was just for this movie because I hadn't watched Loki yet. And once you said that he was going to be the main villain for the new Avengers movie coming out, I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely not a great performance in that movie. It is definitely very disappointing. He's beaten by an army of ants, but don't want to spend too much time on this Garbaggio, garbage, trash, abysmal, bottom 3 or bottom 5 MCU for sure.
Bottom 3.
Next movie is
Cocaine Bear. So Cocaine Bear was a comedy.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You're good.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Cocaine Bear ratings in 3, 2, 1. 5.5 out of 10.
You're a little bit higher.
Yeah.
This movie was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a comedy. Centers around a couple of adults and children, and there's a side plot with like all the drugs and everything. It's a kind of funny movie. It wasn't very funny, but it's definitely enjoyable. It really kind of lacks substance when it comes to the plot and everything, but it definitely was an enjoyable film. And I think if you want to watch any comedy movie or anything like that, it's fine to watch.
So Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they helped work on this movie, and they obviously made some of our favorite projects. Like they made a show I really like, Clone High. They made the Spider-Verse movies. They made a bunch of the Lego movies and all that. And I just see none of their charm at all. Like I don't see how they help work on this. Like this movie, like the pacing feels off. Like there's like, in Star Wars, it has like that structure of a bunch of different, and I'm sorry to compare this to Star Wars, but there's like the different subplots, and then by the end, they all kind of merge together.
Yeah.
There's like the plots don't, like, this movie is just all over the place. I feel like the stuff with the kids and then the adults and then the drug dealer teenagers, there's just a bunch of shit going on. It focuses on one thing and then randomly cuts. Like it's all over the place. It definitely, I think everybody knows this movie isn't spectacular, but I thought it was fun. Some funny moments, like the kids eating cocaine and stuff
definitely.
was fun. Isaiah really enjoyed this movie. It was high up on his high up on his 2023 list, I believe. But is there anything else you need to say about this one?
Oh, that's all for Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, Cocaine Bear. It was fun.
So next up is I'm not sure if you have one in between this, but Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, rating in 3, 2, 1, 7 out of 10.
You're quite higher on this one.
I didn't expect you to like it, not like it that much.
So I think maybe I need to raise it to like a 6 out of 10. Maybe that was a little bit too harsh, but it was a fun movie. I thought the actors were really fun, like all the like the dude from Detective Pikachu, the girl from, I don't remember anybody's names in that movie, but the main group of characters I found really fun. I like their powers and stuff. It just felt like it's not what I expected at all from a Dungeons and Dragons movie. It takes like a way different turn. There's some funny scenes. There's not so much funny scenes. Why are you so much higher?
Do you even know much about Dungeons and Dragons?
I know what it is. I know like how you play and everything, and from Stranger Things, it shows you a little bit, of course. But I know like what it is, but like I'm not like an expert on it or anything.
Yeah, I did feel like this movie wasn't really for me, or may not have been. I don't know. I don't know who this movie was directed at, but I did find it enjoyable. I liked a lot of the mystical aspects and magical aspects of everything. I liked the group. I thought the group was a good choice, and there were some scenes that I just enjoyed a lot. Like, remember that scene with the portrait? They were using the portals to get into that carriage. Yeah. I thought that was very creative and fun.
Yeah, there were some very fun creatives. There was that one really weird scene where the dude just starts glitching out of nowhere, and he's like, there's some funny, wacky stuff in there like that. Not much to say about this one. Definitely should probably raise it to like a 6. My bad. I was a little bit too harsh on that. I liked it. I just didn't find too much special about it. This next one, though, I think we both really enjoyed.
Yes.
Air ratings in 3, 2, 1.
9 out of 10.
I'm glad you're high on this one. Let's hear your take on Air.
So Air was a great movie, a history movie, I guess would say.
Sort of.
Kind of retelling the story of how the Air Jordans were made. And not really quite what I was expected. I actually expected this movie to be focusing a little bit more on Jordan himself, but not at all. You don't even see his face in the movie.
It's always shadowed out.
I thought that was a weird choice, but I guess it makes sense. I thought the main character was great.
Matt Damon, spectacular performance. Ben Affleck, who was the dude who plays Batman. He was the I forgot what they're called, but like he was like the boss, the head guy. Did really good.
And he directed this movie.
Yeah, I believe he did. You're right. Good job. Very good. For some, like, much like Oppenheimer, where it's like it's known information, like, it's like stuff that like by the end like he's gonna get the contract signed and everything, but like I feel like the way they just do it is really well.
Yeah, and it just puts you into that time period and makes you feel like you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and it's like, we know he ended up signing it, but like it shows the origin story, and I mean, I don't know how accurate it is because I don't know the actual story, but it seemed good. I was entertained. I tend to be much higher on shorter movies because they just easier to get through, and I thought the pacing was great. Every scene was needed. Liked all of it. Didn't feel any of it dragged. Acting great. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and what you didn't know before watching this film is the little stakes that were involved. Like you didn't know that the company would have probably died if they never got this shoe out, and you get to really feel that.
It's really good. I love there. You wanna this next one you didn't see. Renfield ratings 3, 2, 1, 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I would give it a 6 out of 10, but I'm gonna have to go with the 5 out of 10.
What's this film about?
So it's Nicolas Cage, dude from Alice in Wonderland. He's like a vampire dude in this, and then I'm forgetting the main dude's name, but it's a character named Renfield, and he's kind of like a. I'm trying to remember. This movie was a little bit forgettable now that I'm thinking about it, but he was kind of serving Nicolas Cage like he's the Dracula, and then like Renfield's like mini Dracula, and he's serving him and stuff, killing him, people bringing him stuff to eat and whatnot, and then Aquafina is in this movie, and she's actually not bad, surprisingly. I didn't mind Aquafina at all in this movie, but her and Renfield had like because she's a cop and then he's a vampire, and then there's this whole Ben Schwartz, who does the Sonic voice,
right,
is also like the main bad guy in this movie, and I think he does really great. It's fun. It's really gory. Like, it's not scary, but like it just gets gory for fun. Like Renfield will just like slash somebody and people will start exploding. Doug from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie was in this movie.
My
and
favorite
he just
actor
explodes.
of all time.
There's some funny stuff on it. There's some funny stuff in it. He's just not great. If you like vampire movies like Twilight and stuff and all that, you should probably check it out. If you like gory stuff, definitely check it out. It's just a fun little goofy movie. This next movie we recently watched, which one is it for you?
Super Mario Bros.
You want to do the 3, 2, 1?
All right. So the Super Mario Bros. Movie Super Mario Bros. Movie rating in 3, 2, 1.
2 out of 10.
5.5 out of 10.
So I want to hear your opinion on this because we spoke a little bit about it on the Isaiah episode, but
so I understand your problems with it being like super fast paced and you have issues with the music and everything, but like I feel like it's just very enjoyable, and I understand a lot of your complaints and I agree with a lot of them. I thought, okay, my biggest complaint was Luigi. Luigi did absolutely nothing in this film.
Yep, he gets almost like no character arc by the end. They really wait, and then the opening, the Super Mario. We talked about this on the Isaiah opening with the. I was speaking gibberish for a second. We talked about it a little bit on the Isaiah episode. Opening, super fun. Mario Bros, like very fun tone with Mario and Luigi at the start, and they separate them at the start, and it really is a shame.
Yeah,
I thought Charlie Day was a really good casting for Luigi. Chris Pratt was fine as Mario. Didn't hate it, but didn't particularly like it. But like you said, I don't like how this we just rewatched Mutant Mayhem, an animated movie, which is kind of like Mario, where you're taking this old thing and bringing it back, and I just think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle has heart with the Splinter stuff, good action with the turtles knowing karate and whatnot, good relationships, and
Absolutely.
I feel like Mario has no good relationships, no good or funny dialogue. Like I couldn't tell you a single joke from the Mario movie that I found funny. The music choices in Mutant Mayhem were great. I thought, like you brung up, during the, I don't remember which scene it is, but Take On Me just starts playing out of nowhere, like the weirdest part. The Beastie Boys start playing at the start out of the No Sleep Till Brooklyn starts playing at the start, like out of nowhere. Like I don't like the songs I don't particularly dislike them, but they just like doesn't, like with Guardians 2, one of my highest thing about that film is the like song fits with the thing, like the song correlates to what's happening. It just feels like they selected the songs before and then put the scenes there. It's just, I didn't find this movie very entertaining. Animation, great, but I just, Bowser being a pervert wasn't a big fan of. I'm really surprised you're way higher on this movie. What was like your major positives for this one?
I thought somebody was walking. Okay. My main positives it was just a very entertaining movie, and well, of course, I still have this low. 5.5 is still low. So Luigi and Mario being separated, of course, I don't think it was a good choice, but I think it had possibility. You know how you were talking about A New Hope or Star Wars or whatever, how they're separated and then they all come together and at the end. They could have done something like that, but actually, instead of just locking Luigi up in a cage the entire movie, he could have had his own side plot.
Yeah, like
with,
I talked
with him
about.
actually building his character.
They should have done. They were trying to do a Luigi's Mansion the Easter egg, and they should have just went full out Luigi's Mansion and tried to dedicate more time to it. But instead, it just felt like such a kids movie to me. Like when I watched it, like I just felt like this is something meant for children. Like I wanted to find it entertaining, but like just constantly I was seeing missed opportunities, unfunny jokes, and I really liked the like I said, we watched it recently. I went back and watched it again. I really wanted to go into it with an open mind, but I just couldn't. I found so like I have a lot wrong. I think there's a lot wrong with that movie. It's most importantly, it's not a faithful adaptation at all. Much there's some Easter eggs, but it's not like the Mario games.
Yeah.
And it's like the same FNAF argument, like, oh, like you don't want it to be exactly like the games, and I mean, like, yeah, I guess that's a fair point. I don't want to see just the Mario game played out, but like, then just make your own thing, because then it feels like you're making a cash grab. Because if you're just taking these characters and not trying to do a faithful adaptation, it just feels like a cash grab, and it's just Sonic 2. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is Sonic 2. If you watch Sonic 2 and watch the Mario movie, same thing happens. Two characters get split up. The main character has Mario has Toad, Sonic has Tails, and then Princess Peach kind of plays that Knuckles role, and then Eggman is literally Bowser, and then they use the power up to defeat him at the end. It's literally the same movie. Some of it could be entertaining, which is keeping it from like a 1 out of 10. Like I really like the animation, but it's just so many missed opportunities and just so much stuff I just really disliked.
I agree. So many missed opportunities, but I think 1 out of 10 is way too low.
I give it a 2 out of 10.
Okay.
I think that's what I said.
2 out of 10 is still pretty low.
You want to move on to the next one,
yes.
which is one I think we both really like.
Yes, of course.
You do the 3, 2, 1.
So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, ratings. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, ratings in 3, 2, 1, 9 out of 10.
So you're a little bit higher on this one. So when I first saw this movie, obviously I was really low on it. I was like a 5 out of 10, but I've seen it twice since then. I've seen it 3 times. Really like this movie. I think it's easily the weakest of the trilogy. I think Gamora and Peter's relationship not being in there at all is really the biggest negative for me. And Gamora kind of being a prick in that movie really brings it down. But I do like how she kind of comes around at the end with understanding, when she finally understands Groot and everything. She has a little conversation with them, and she's like kind of like more talking to the Guardians and everything and whatnot. She's like you get that when they're on what's the planet called that High Evolutionary made? The new planet, New Earth, something. I forgot what it's called, but Gamora's like just checking in on Rocket and stuff, just hanging around the Guardians base. Like she's with them. She's being with them more. I think the music, I like the music in this movie, but I think it's far weaker than the first two. Like the songs in the first 2 movies really got me like immersed and hyped. And then I like the songs in this movie, but I don't think they were as strong. I like how dark this movie gets with Rocket's backstory. There's a lot of, I think there's definitely more positives than negatives to this movie.
Yeah, this movie, of course, takes my favorite character to a next level. Not my favorite character, but my second favorite character to the next level. That's why I love it so much. Again, I actually thought the High Evolutionary was a great idea. Of course, not the best villain, but of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy stories are more focused on the Guardians than they are the villains and everything. And everything was great. I thought Drax was amazing. I thought everybody else was amazing.
Adam Warlock, obviously, he's set up in Guardians Volume, and this is an issue with a lot of the Marvel stuff. They set up things that don't really play anything. Like we saw that Scorpion post-credit scene in Homecoming years ago, and like nothing's happened from that. But the Guardians 2 post-credit scene sets up Adam Warlock, and
he does nothing.
He plays a very important role in the Infinity War, Infinity Saga comics, and he does nothing to progress the plot. He's funny. James Gunn has great humor, so he's going to have some funny scenes with them. But he's definitely not as strong as he should be. And he does nothing to drive any plot points forward nearly at all. He shows up at the start and everything. And it's the same thing with High Evolutionary. I really like High Evolutionary as a villain, and I wanted to see more of him. You see him in the flashbacks, but then you get the final battle with them at the end, and it's really quick and it's wrapped up. But like we've said before, the movies focus on the Guardians, but I just like the High Evolutionary so much. I wanted to see more of them.
Yeah.
But I think most people can agree. Like you give it a 9 out of 10 people see the issues in this movie with Adam Warlock and everything. I just think they bother me way more than some other people. So which is why I'm much lower on this movie than everybody else. But I still like it.
Yeah, 8 out of
Still
10
love
is
it.
good.
8 out of 10 is good. Obviously.
Some people see 8 out of 10, they're like, what? That's way too low.
Yeah, like the Spider-Man 2 take, which is wild. Like, I like that, guys.
All right, so next up?
Next up, what do we have? Elemental.
Next up, we have Elementals.
Elemental? Or is it Elemental? I think it was Elemental. Elemental ratings, 3, 2, 1, 8 out of 10.
I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so
You're good.
sorry.
How do you not know?
Because they're on here. Okay.
You should know them by.
There it is.
Elementals rating, 3, 2, 1,
7.5 out of 10.
7.5.
Yes.
I'm glad you gave it the 0.5. I'm really glad. So I want to hear your thoughts.
Elemental was a very strong movie. I think it's definitely overhated. Very cute romance. Good characters. Well, just focuses on really two. But
great animation too.
Yeah, great animation. I think the world is very weird and not really explained very well. Has some you get a lot of questions like how does that work?
It's the same thing with the Mario movie, you know, that's just wacky.
But it was kind of an allegory for like for immigration and parents, like very hardworking parents who kind of built up that from their immigration and all that. What is your main positive about this movie? What do you love about
I really like we talked about it before, but the thing between Wade and Ember is really good. Like legit, like it didn't have me sobbing at the end, but like it had me like sad at the end. Like I would probably almost had me to tears. Like I thought it was done really well. Like it felt natural. Like I just really like the animation, just like boosted it up by a billion. I really liked the animation in this movie. It was just like you said, it was so cute. The characters were just done so well. It's one of the shorter movies, so the pace is really good. Definitely one of the better Pixar movies. I'm glad this movie finally started making money in the box office. I definitely think it's underrated.
This movie flopped at first, and then it's like just slowly starts to take off. So I'm very glad. The director did a good job, and they deserved it.
I liked Elemental. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, and the state of Pixar hasn't been very good lately.
Yeah, it's just it's nice to get something decent out of it for a while.
So next up is Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse rating in 3, 2, 1, 10 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10.
I know your problems. We've spoken about this many
obviously,
times.
I don't like the ending, but like I don't hate it. Like it's still my favorite movie of all time. Like I have an issue with it, and there's some movies I give it 10 out of 10, but like I just like the first 2 acts of this movie is some of the best some of the best stuff I've ever seen in my life. In my opinion, probably the best action I've seen in general from a movie, and it's animated, so that's saying a lot. But amazing action, amazing character moments. Easily, you thinking? I think Incredibles. You can say I can definitely agree with you. Obviously, I disagree, but I can see you saying Incredibles is a better movie. But Across the Spider-Verse it is the best animated. Like
of course,
the animation is just
so good,
spectacular. Like I love how Miles goes realistic looking once he gets in the Spider-Man 20 Nueva York universe and everything. Like he gets like looks much more realistic and stuff. Like just the little like everybody has like different web effect sounds. Like everybody
they
has
use attention to detail.
Oh my god,
that's what makes the movies so much better.
We could. I want to say time on this. I want to stay because we could talk about this movie all day.
Of course.
So I want to keep it short. What are the main thing? Why do you give this movie a 10 out of 10?
So the storytelling is amazing. I love the dynamic. Like even it's just talking for like a while too. Like the first half of this movie is like a lot of just dialogue.
Is so expert.
It's so good. It really makes it really brings you into Miles' feelings and the struggles he's going through as Spider-Man, of course. Of course, not as great as like Peter Parker's struggles, but you really feel it. And I love Gwen in this movie too.
She's gets much more of a role in this one than the first one.
Yeah, it really tells her story and dives into it too, which is great. And that's finished in this movie.
She gets a great arc in this movie.
Thought her story was fantastic.
We're introduced to Spider-Punk, which is one of my favorite parts of the movie. I think his animation is spectacular. The way his like newspapers and everything. Pietro, Spider-Man India. Pietro Pavikivar. I can't pronounce his name. It's something like that, but he's awesome. What was the other Spider-Man? There was one more. Spider-Punk, Spider-India. What was the other?
There's of course 2099.
Spider-Man 2099.
Okay.
Yes, the awesome addition. Original Peter coming back in this movie is awesome. Just the Spider Society chase is just epic.
Fantastic.
Everything about that movie is epic. Like you said, there is some really long dialogue scenes in this movie, but they're so good. Everything with Miles and his parents is just so sharp, and it feels so real. Like whenever we were in the theaters watching this movie, it's like I'm being hypnotized, like I'm in a trance, like I'm just like glued to the screen, and it's like just peak.
Especially during the chase scene, because you're just locked in like this, and all you can see is Spider-Verse.
Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Tom can be your favorite Spider-Man, but I think Miles is easily the best written Spider-Man.
Of
like
course.
writing wise, it's so good. Spots. How did you feel about the Spot?
The Spot was great. I thought he was
One
fantastic.
of my favorite Spider-Man villains of all time now. I'm really excited to see what he does in the next movie.
Oh my god, that's got to be one of the most hyped movies of all time.
Up there, he's hype, up there, I've been excited for Deadpool 3 for a while, and then Beyond the Spider-Verse is easily up there after Across. There's some other movies coming out that we're excited for. We'll talk about. Will make $1 billion, but
Yeah.
Superman Legacy, I'm super excited for. But it's crazy that an animated Spider-Man movie is having most people more excited than a Superman movie. It's just, this movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't hate the ending, but I don't particularly like it. I think Infinity War, Empire Strikes Back, and a bunch of movie with cliffhangers still have an ending that we're obviously setting up. I'm sure we're about to watch the Deathly Hallows movies, Deathly Hallows Part 1. I'm sure there's going to be a kind of cliffhanger ending in there, so I want to see how that plays out. But I just feel like they didn't quite nail it with that cliffhanger, right? It's the final act of that movie was the Spider Society fight, and then there's another 30, 40 movies. Not to say that any of it's bad after that. Not to say any of it's bad after that, but I just think it drags slightly, and it ends when I wanted to see more.
For me, I just sensed the ending coming. I knew, okay, this is it. But I'm so happy with what I got. And so when it came, it wasn't just a harsh hit on the brake for me. It felt kind of gradual to me, and I was completely fine with it. Of course, we got the ending to the Gwen story too, and yeah, I was just completely satisfied. Didn't care about the ending being bad or anything like that, which it wasn't. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I didn't, I don't think it was, it's just, like I said, I don't want to fault someone for liking my favorite movie of all time. I said that last episode, but just the story, just more of the story being incomplete is why I don't want to give it a 10 out of 10. I gotta see how it plays out. Maybe, I'm sure I said this every time we talked about this. I'm sure once Beyond comes out, my mind will change, but just that story's not complete, man. I need that. We need Beyond the Spider-Verse. I don't know if it's gonna come out next year. Probably not. push it back. Make sure it's perfect.
Yeah.
We can wait. We waited 5 years for the first one.
Of course.
We can wait 5 years for, not 5. We can wait a few more years for Beyond, but
I will wait 10 years for the best movie ever.
No,
I will wait 10 years.
Take
for
your
the
time
best
with
movie
it.
of all time.
Don't rush it. Delay it however long you need to. So, easily, no surprise, best movie of the year, my favorite movie of all time. So, next one. This is one. Oh wait, no. Next one.
I just want to see the time.
Making sure we're still going. All right.
We're on 38, so let's try to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, we're about halfway through this. The Flash.
Let me just find my rating. Okay.
The Flash ratings 3, 2, 1,
6.5 out of 10.
6.5. So you're a little lower. I have seen this. I did rewatch it a little recently. So we will do a DCU ranking, and then I'll have you watch it. But you haven't seen it in a while.
So this movie came out right after Across the Spider-Verse.
The same month as Across the Spider-Verse.
So I think that's why I have it a little bit lower. I definitely need to rewatch it. It's been quite a while. But tell me why you like this movie so much.
So when we first watched it, we were all 6.5s out of 10. But obviously, I think that was a big reason was because Across the Spider-Verse. It's kind of like an Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp situation. Right. But Flash is my second favorite superhero of all time, and then just so much of what was in that movie is exactly what I wanted in my Flash movie. I got fun. I think the movie starts to go slightly downhill off the first act, but with him saving the babies and everything, that's the fun Flash. Obviously, it looks bad. Most of the CGI is bad. like the babies and stuff, and like his suit for the most part, like I hate how his helmet's practical and the rest is CGI.
Of course.
It's so off-putting. But there are some very good CGI moments in that movie. Like
Really?
well, yeah. Upon rewatching it, obviously a lot of it's bad, but the like electricity that flows around Barry's suit looks spectacular. Like at the beginning when like the building is crumbling, like the building crumbling looks great and realistic. It's just stuff the audience is actually going to look at, like the babies and whatnot looks really bad. But we got amazing Flash action. Ezra Miller, hate for what he did in real life. Glad he's not having a career after this probably, but great acting as the Flash. I really, really liked his acting in this movie. Him and the other Barry, it starts to get slightly annoying towards the end, but I think they have like really, really great moments. I know one of your biggest positives about the movie, everything with the mom was perfect.
Fantastic.
I love the ending where he just moves the
so
the
beautiful.
tomato can.
It's very emotional.
This movie's surprisingly emotional. But one of the major positives about like Mutant Mayhem, like it's the first Ninja Turtles movie, so I'm glad it is a small scaled movie. The first Flash movie shouldn't have tried to go as grand and big and the big time travel. Like it should have kept the same. Like much how the FNAF movie should have kept that horror tone at the beginning. The Flash should have kept that fun saving babies tones at the start. But you know, not perfect. Maybe I'm a little high on it, but I really did like the Flash. CGI was bad, and I think my other main negative is it should have had a real villain. This movie was definitely lacking in a villain. But Supergirl was great. Do you remember the one scene where it shows the flashback and Barry's like in his old homemade suit and it's showing the terrorist attack with everything being like up in the air and it gets like brought down and Flash saves the kid by running in midair? Do you remember that?
That was towards like the middle of the movie?
It was like towards the middle of the movie.
I think so, yeah.
It was a Man of Steel. I don't blame you for remembering. It's not remembering. It's a really small thing. But it just does little things like that, and then it has the big third act in the big open field, and then it doesn't have a big terrorist attack in Man of Steel in the city. It just does little things to correct movies I hate like that, and there's just a bunch of little things I really love about this movie. And the CGI is bad and stuff, but it just doesn't bother me as much as other people. I don't think it's good, but what's your main things? What do you mainly remember from?
Of course, I remember the CGI being really bad. I do remember quite a bit uninteresting things, especially towards like this second act, maybe.
How'd you feel about Batman?
Batman was interesting.
I thought the Batman action was great.
I felt like Batman was, I guess, it might have been comic accurate or something, but I don't know. It felt more like a comedic Batman.
Yeah,
than what I'm used to.
The old Batman movies definitely try to do like that more. It's like the Dark Knight, started off with that. All right, let's get a little bit realistic, and then the Batman's like, all right, let's take that realistic thing from the Dark Knight, take it a little step further, make it really realistic.
Yeah, very dark.
Like the old Batman was like a much more campy, goofy. Like this was the time slasher movies were coming out and stuff and whatnot. So like
this is like that Batman.
Yeah, you get that one scene where he's like, let's get nuts, and he's just sitting there smiling at the camera. And he's like, I'm Batman. Like he gets funny little comedic scenes like that. Definitely much more of a goofy tone, but I thought the action with them was great though. Like the Supergirl, like I said, I thought she doesn't get much to do, but I thought she was great. I thought the time travel thing where Batman and Supergirl kept dying in every universe was really interesting. Time Zone, interesting. Just the CGI was bad. I just liked a lot of stuff about this movie.
Yeah.
So let's Insidious. So yeah, like you said, we should pick up the pace a little bit. Insidious, I like The Flash. A lot to say about it. I really like that movie. Insidious, The Red Door.
Yep.
You only saw this one.
Only I saw it. Rating in Insidious, The Red Door. Rating in 3, 2, 1, 3.5 out of 10. Not a good horror movie. It's it feels very unnecessary. Kind of just retelling the first plot. It's like the same thing happened again. Like everything really gets solved. They like erase their memory in like the fourth movie or something. I didn't watch it, and then their memory, they start remembering things, like slowly remembering things that happened, and if they never erase their memory, this would never happen. And basically, I think like the demon tries to like use that.
Sounds like a confusing movie, but
I don't remember much.
And I've never seen the first Insidious movie, so I don't really know. But
yeah. It was like the same thing as the first, because like the dad had to come back and save the same kid again as when he was older. There's like a new character that was kind of annoying.
Is the horror any good?
Mm-mm. I mean, there was actually, yeah, there was. I remember one good horror scene, which was in the hospital in an MRI. Great horror scene, honestly.
Barbie?
Yeah, let's just move on to Barbie.
Barbie ratings, the worst movie of the year. 3, 2, 1.
2 out of 10.
One. Barbie ratings, 3, 2, 1. The worst movie of the year. 3, 2, 1.
2
1
out
out
of
of
10.
10. Didn't mean to say 2. My bad. Movie's definitely not a 2 out of 10. But obviously joking a little bit, but this was my least favorite movie of the year. I don't want to spend much time talking about it, but clearly the Zack Snyder obviously the Zack Snyder's joke is gonna piss off some people.
Yes, I know.
Clearly, I mean, look at us. We have DC, Marvel stuff everywhere. Like, we're in the superheroes. But not only is the joke not funny, it is out of place. And I feel like that is the whole movie. Out of place joke.
It was just like a very opinionated joke that was just like, it just targets like people just to annoy people.
And
really.
Zack Snyder, most people can agree that movie is good. I feel like it is just there to like, it's not even funny. It's only like, it's just there to be like flipping off the audience. Like, like, thank you for paying to see this money. We're going to make fun of the things you like. I feel like just the whole movie was that, just all the jokes unfunny, out of place. Like, my favorite thing about a movie is every scene matters. Nothing matters in this movie. It is just wacky stuff happening for no reason. Hate the ending. This movie is way too long. It drags a little bit. Doesn't need to be over. I'm pretty sure it's over 2 hours. Doesn't need to be over 2 hours. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are fine. Yeah.
I think the Ken stuff is kind of fun. Other than that, it was just very
forgettable. Boring.
There was just so much missed opportunities again with all these adaptations that came out this year. Most of it was just missed opportunity, and they just went a completely wrong route. It's just very weird. A lot of things weren't explained well. Things just happened, and you kind of went with it. The whole
subplot with Will Ferrell and the CEO.
Yeah, I was about to say
the
that.
Plot. They make no sense.
They were really bad. The whole Earth stuff, like normal world realm,
the two human characters,
was just they were really bad. And there was that one part where it starts to get kind of creepy. She like some
when was this?
Remember Barbie like goes deep into like Mattel and then finds these like hallway.
The whole hallway scene was so stupid. Like the little raise, like the Scooby-Doo chase and like the hallway cubicles, like the office.
Scooby-Doo.
The hallway cubicles where they have that goofy chase and like the office things.
I think I remember something like that, but that's not really what I was talking about. When she goes down and it's like kind of sets a creepy tone and there's like this hallway with like a whole bunch of doors and then she finds the creator of Barbie.
Yeah. My bad.
I was interested there. And then they just forget about that. I'm just like, it's such a dramatic tone change.
Kind of like the Mario movie where it's going to scene. But Barbie was just bad, man. Unfunny, uninteresting.
And I feel like they just do the Ken so wrong too. Like I know they took over and everything, but it's because obviously they want to take over. They're like slaves.
Ken goes back to like when Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are in the Earth world, and then Ken goes back, and then like in like the span of like 5 minutes in movie time, he just is the king of Barbie world now. Like there's just no explanation for stuff like that, and it's just stupid. I want to talk about this next movie, which we both really enjoyed. The Barbenheimer event, the better half of the Barbenheimer event. Oppenheimer ratings. 3, 2, 1. 9 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10.
9.5.
Oh, I love this movie.
It's a great movie. You were way lower on it when you first saw it. I'm glad you gave it a rewatch.
On first watch, I was like a 7 out of 10 because I didn't really understand what was going on a lot of times.
We were in a theater. We couldn't pause it and take bathroom breaks when we wanted to.
But this movie shines on the rewatch, for me at least. And I understood everything. I felt like the pacing was really good, honestly. The back-to-back stuff from like black and white and normal can get a little confusing sometimes, and I understand that, but it's really good. I love history movies. The whole part leading up to the explosion scene was the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
You agree?
Every like when they're doing like that heist thing and they're setting up the team
Mm-hmm.
is like to that point on is like peak. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like the first hour where, like you said, the black and white, like the press stuff moving back and forth. I think it drags quite a bit. Like I think the first hour is like kind of a pain in the ass to get through.
Mm-hmm.
But once they start getting ready to do that bomb and everything after the bomb is some of the best stuff I've seen from a cinema ever.
I agree.
Oppenheimer easily has one of the best things ever where you realize he was living with the guilt of, oh shit, did I just ruin the world forever?
Yeah.
With that brilliant
Oh,
conversation with Einstein.
The
at
end scene, oh, that brings shivers down my spine when I heard that, bro.
It's one of the best. Oh, my god,
best endings.
Very good.
Oh, one of the best.
Very good. Up there with stuff like the Truman Show and whatnot. Very good. Acting was great. This cast was stacked. So Cillian Murphy, Alex Wolff, dude who plays Roderick, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr. Everybody was in this movie. Everybody did a great job. I think everybody loved Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
it's in the
I hope
Letterboxd
so.
top 250. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
Oppenheimer's great.
And it deserves to be great.
Yeah.
Next up,
Talk to
to
me.
me.
Talk to
Yeah.
me. Yep, that one's next, I believe. Yeah. Talk to me. Talk to me ratings. 3, 2, 1.
9 out of 10.
I was close to giving it a 9.5, but I'll leave it at a 9
Yes.
out of 10. Let's hear your Talk to Me take.
Oh my god, best horror movie for me. My favorite
Your
horror
favorite
movie.
horror movie. I'm glad.
I haven't watched too many horror. I used to say I watched a lot of horror, but I really don't remember much. A lot of what I watched in horror was very forgettable and everything. This was very memorable. I thought the story was great. I love the allegory for drugs. The guilt that Mia has been like facing throughout her
She's
life.
such a great character, and she's never been in like anything before. She was a new actor.
Oh,
she
did
so
great
good.
job.
She did so good.
She needs to be in more movies. I think all of the actors did great.
Yeah, no, for an Australian movie, like we're not used to seeing Australian
Do you know
movies,
what
and they
the
did great.
budget was for this film?
Not much. I'm sure it was nothing
Yeah.
more than like 20 million, like probably around the same as much as Godzilla.
Yeah.
Just because they casted Mia, like who was an unpopular character, they cut their budget by like $1 million, but they went with it because of how great she was, and I'm
Yeah.
glad. It's worth it. Gore in this movie, while it's not a ton of it, but when it does happen, it's great and it sticks with you. Horror's great. Characters are great. Like, it's everything most horror movies don't have. Good kills, good characters, good everything. Good music. I love the sound. Like, there's some very good like I love the montage scene of them all trying out the hand. I love the little song it plays in the back. I love this movie. Easily my 4th favorite horror movie of all time. I don't blame you I'm so glad it's your favorite horror movie of all time. It is. I loved easily my 3rd favorite top 3 movie of this year. Loved it so friggin' much.
So originally on watch, it was like I had it at an 8 out of 10. On rewatch, I found it even better. Understood a little bit more.
And I've seen it 3 times, and it's just
Yeah.
a big factor. Sorry for interrupting. I'll do this quick. Big factor I give for movies is how rewatchable they are. Talk to Me is just so rewatchable. It's just
Definitely.
a fantastic movie. You pick up on so many little things you didn't see before.
Oh my god, I loved that. I loved the just struggle that Mia had just dealing with the fact that her mom might have committed
So
suicide.
realistic. It felt so. It was just. Peak.
It was very
It
sad,
was amazing.
but great.
And how spoiler alert, obviously, how she kills her father at the end and everything. And the
Oh my God.
ending isn't as good as Oppenheimer's, but like it's good. Ending is like up there. Ending's great. This next one really.
Oh, you love it.
We just did a rewatch on this one.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem ratings 3, 2, 1
8 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10. I'm glad you brought it back up to an 8 out of 10.
I had it at a 7.5 out of 10. Then I brought it back up
So
after rewatch.
I guess and like there's so much stuff you can do with animated stuff. Like I love live action movies, but the possibility of what you can do with animated stuff is just great, and this is a perfect example of that. I love the animation. This is everything the Mario movie should have been, everything the Mario movie isn't. Good character, good dialogue, great animation with actually good jokes and stuff. And I thought the comedy in this movie really works for me. I think a ton of it's funny. This movie is very rewatchable. It's shorter, so the pace moves great. Movie doesn't drag at all. Love, like, there's the action in this movie is like small, but it's great. Like I said, it's no Into the Spider-Verse or anything. Like, it's much more smaller scale, but I felt like that's exactly what the first Ninja Turtles movie needed to be. Great setup for a sequel. I loved everything about this movie. One issue is I don't think they have I liked what they did with the turtles, but Raph's
The
not
characters aren't
angry.
right.
He's just energetic. Mikey's not really funny. Donnie's not smart. He's a nerd. And Leo's the leader, but they don't have. I think I like what they're doing though.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is when it came to Raph, they kept saying like, "Oh, you need to get that checked. You need to go to psychologist."
But he's just getting excited.
He's not really
getting
angry.
He's just getting hyped. But yeah, fantastic.
One
movie.
thing I struggle with this film is I can't really find a favorite because I have a lot of problems with like each of the characters.
That's wild. Because you haven't even seen much like old Ninja Turtles content.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Mikey and Raph don't really take too big of roles in this film. Leo and Donatello almost made the mistake again. Donatello, they're more focused on in this film, I feel. And Leo, he snitched at the start.
Yeah, no, he's a snitch, but it kind of kicks off the whole story with. I think that kicks off like the great little side thing with Splinter, where he was trying to surprise him with the pizza party. You get the hilarious cardboard scene of all the Chris's and stuff. Everything I know this is positive for you. Everything with Splinter was great. A relationship between them was great, and it's just like I said, everything the Mario movie should have been. There was very funny, so many memorable jokes, so many good dialogue moments. The emotion, like you don't cry or anything during this movie, but like it hits its emotional beats exactly where it needs to hit. Love the animation so much. It just everything about it is teenagery vibes. What are like your major issues with this movie?
Major issues is not really major, but an issue was I personally didn't really find the comedy that big. I found it kind of annoying when the Ninja Turtles were all just like with the bev,
I thought that scene was hilarious. It's easily no joke. It's one of my favorite scenes of like any movie this year. I thought it was just so funny. It just felt so natural. Like they just got done like. They've been in the sewers all their lives. They've been sheltered all their lives, and they go out and kick ass for the first time, and they're hype and stuff. And then April obviously shits on them right after, which is kind of how like the audience you would feel, I just think, and they don't overdo it. I feel like they don't overdo it. Like in the Marvels, there was so many cringe stuff. Like when they go on that island and the people are singing and stuff, and there's the musical. I feel like Ninja Turtles kind of like just like it has just the right, like even if you don't necessarily find it funny, like it doesn't overdo it.
Yeah, some of the jokes I just felt like I've heard them before. Like, not really jokes, but just like the dialogue choices. A lot of it, I'm just like I've heard this in many kids' movies before. It's more of a nitpick, but still. Of course, like when it comes to comedy, I remember like the scenes where he's like, "With that Riz, you don't have luck" or something like that.
I thought that stuff was so funny.
Now on rewatch, I kind of agree that was a little funny in you're cringing at them kind of way. That's cringe, but in a funny way.
Like, but you see, like it's kind of because it's like it's kind of cringe, but like it's like just done. It's what they're doing, what they're saying is cringe, but they're not doing it in a cringy way. Like they're doing it in more of like, it's just, I thought it was so good. I thought it was so strong. Hopefully the jokes like the Black Panther, what are those joke? Like I never found that funny, but like I found the Riz and sus jokes in this movie funny. So I'm hoping it stays like that. And then like over time, I was just like, oh, that was funny back then. But I never liked the Black Panther, what are those joke? I think it's probably the worst joke. It is the worst joke in the MCU. But yeah. Love this movie. I'm glad you like this movie. I'm glad. I loved we got to see it early. Great audience theater experience. You excited for the sequel?
Of course.
So hype.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Shredder.
What's our next one?
Next one is Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle.
Okay.
Blue Beetle ratings.
Blue Beetle ratings in 3, 2, 1.
3 out of 10.
I know you're a bit lower on this one.
Yeah, I maybe I'm a little bit too harsh. I'll go 4 out of 10.
They had very good potential with this one. I think they completely fumbled the bag with it. The villain was very bad. Main complaint about this villain.
Yeah.
This female villain was just terrible.
I think the big metal guy. What's his name? Do you remember that? I don't even. The main villain. He's fine, you know. He's kind of like just an average Reese, like, you know, Ironmonger to Iron Man, the Yellow Jacket to Ant-Man. But then they just drop this ridiculous backstory on you out of nowhere, and it's out of place. And it's like, why not set that up throughout the rest of the first half of the movie? Like you said, the female villain was bad. There were so many missed opportunities. Like the Blue Beetle sword and Blue Beetle stuff is awesome. Go turn on the light, please. Thank you. But stuff like the Blue Beetle sword and stuff is awesome. Wrong color. No, you're good. But the sword is awesome, and then you don't, like, they barely scratch the surface of what the Blue Beetle scarab is possible of doing. Like, I love Blue Beetle and Young Justice. I love him in the shows. But he uses the sword, like, one time that I don't really think the action is that great in this movie. My main complaint, people's main positive of this movie was the family. I thought the family was very bad. And things like, one thing that made me like the Marvels way more is just how, like, I loved Kamala's family in that movie. They were caring, they were funny, and it's just their family was just seeing families like this in Blue Beetle, and then seeing how it can be done. It's just, it makes me like it so much less. They're just so unfunny. Hate the sister. Really dislike George Lopez. This movie's just not that great. Definitely at the bottom for DCU.
We did a whole video on it.
Yeah. Go check out our main channel if you want to see the Blue Beetle review. This one I want to do for fun right quick. So I want to keep this one very quick. Spider-Man Lotus barely counts as a movie. Spider-Man Lotus ratings 3, 2, 1, 2 out of 10.
Half a star, like 0.5 out of 10.
Yeah, maybe I should give it like 1 out of 10. But I feel like for a fan-made stuff, like there is some fine stuff in there, but not really a story at all. We didn't finish it, obviously. We gave up halfway because it was just so bad.
It was very bad. Lighting was awful. Couldn't even see the characters half the time. Super boring. They focused on like the most boring parts of Spider-Man.
Scenes just carried on for way too long.
Yeah,
we
had to stop watching at that like scene in the house with the kid because it just went on too long. It's like, does he have no one else to talk to other than this poor kid?
Yeah, and then I heard they end up killing off the kid, which is weird because like he's so happy. Like I was watching like a review for it, like a dude shitting on it. And then, like, apparently the kid dies, and that's just confusing.
Well,
because
he's terminally ill.
He was so happy and giddy. Like, that kid was not acting terminally ill at all when Spider-Man came in his room. Like, he was showing, like, so happy, zigzag all around the room, so hype. It just, man, the acting in that movie was not just really great.
The dialogue was horrible,
Scenes drag on in that movie. We're not going to drag on this review like that movie, so we'll move right on to Dumb Money, a movie you really enjoyed.
Yes.
Dumb Money ratings, 3, 2, 1,
9
7
out of 10.
I should probably bump it up to a 7.5. You give this movie 9 out of 10.
Yes.
You really like it. Let's hear it.
So Dumb Money was a movie about a true story, a YouTuber who bet against Wall Street and ended up making tons of fucking money.
Put a bunch of money in the GameStop and it profited.
I thought all the characters were great, honestly. I like how it wasn't like really sad or anything. They didn't have to go through much trouble in this movie. And I thought it was just very relaxing to see that. Because I thought there was going to be a whole issue with his like wife or something like that. I didn't know what to expect. And I just didn't really feel like seeing that, but I thought all the characters were great. The brother was great.
There's one scene with Paul Dano's in the car, Riddler, Clancy Brown, who's Mr. Krabs, and Hank from Detroit, Pete Davidson, who's in like everything, and like there's like a scene where just like a bunch of so many known like there's this cast is stacked. Love Paul Dano. He's an amazing lead in this movie. Really good as the main character. Like he kind of brings that socially awkward YouTuber kind of like vibe, but like you care for this character a little bit, and then like when you think he's about to lose stocks, you're like, oh shit, no, like that sucks. Like pull out your money, please. Stop trying to make more. But don't have too much to say about this one. Really enjoyable.
One thing I gotta say real quick
Go on.
is the suspense through this movie. It was just like constant suspense. Like you just felt like there was suspense music in the background, even though there wasn't. It was just like, dun, dun, dun. Like because at any point, all these stocks could just completely fail.
You never know, and it's realistic. Very realistic.
It just
movie.
Leads up to that point, that climax where it does kind of where the Reddit thing just it's deleted, and they don't know what's going on. It's like mass panic.
Yeah.
So I thought it was great.
Yeah, I should raise it to an 8 out of 10. Now hearing like you are bringing up some like there was a lot of good stuff in that movie. Characters are great. Nothing like I particularly disliked about the movie. It just Air is kind of a little bit similar, like
Yeah.
kind of like that, not superhero or anything, just kind of like something based on a true origin story. I just think Air did it a little bit better. I really liked Air.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dumb Money was good. Liked it. Great acting, great story. Go check it out. Saw X, next one. You good? Saw X ratings. Next one I read. Saw X ratings. 3, 2, 1, 7.5 out of 10. So you're a little bit lower on this movie than me. You've only seen the first Saw movie. So the thing is,
I'm pretty sure I've seen the second, or like most of the second.
yeah, I love the second one.
I think the second one's pretty good.
The gift you got me, thank you. Saw
you're
2
welcome.
and Breaking Bad. He did get me something for Christmas, by the
Of
way.
course.
And that's it right there. The best Funko Pop I own. Love the Walter White thing, thank you.
You're welcome.
But Saw X, it's very different from a lot of the other Saw movies. Is kind of like horror corn. I don't know what we're allowed to see. No, I don't want to risk getting a strike again. So
just
be fair.
just bleep that out.
No, okay, yeah. But it's people say it's horror, and it's not really like that. It focuses on John Kramer, this twisted guy who you hate throughout the Saw franchise, but it gives you a whole new perspective on him. Makes him the protagonist, kind of makes you feel bad for him. It's crazy how it makes you feel bad for this murdering guy.
Yeah.
When we did the Saw review, I agree with a lot of your complaints. They just didn't bother me as much as you did. Like the inclusion with Amanda and everything is strange, but like I think it's fun. The villains, like the villain's not that great, but I just think it's fun. The traps in this movie are pretty gory. I don't think they're the best traps, but they're
probably
gory.
some of the most gory.
Yeah,
and just like some of them are just completely impossible to saw off your leg and take your bone marrow out. That is awfully hard.
I mean, it's always going to be torturous with Saw, but he gives them no time.
Yeah,
he gives them no time. He starts it out of nowhere.
You have like 2 minutes to open your brain up and take it out.
Ooh,
like what is that?
But you don't really care because these are messed up people. These people scammed them, did some really bad stuff. But what are your major negatives and positives with this movie?
My one of my biggest complaints is I thought the villain was shit.
No, villain wasn't that great.
Yeah, you have like this husband and wife couple who are just it's kind of like a twist villain, and the whole point was trying to lure him in there, right? To just catch him.
I don't think any of the twists are shocking, but I like the twist. No. I thought they were good.
I thought it kind of felt like the villain from Blue Beetle. Yeah. Just really no care about it at all. The whole thing with John Kramer caring about that kid and everything.
I thought that was cute. I didn't mind that.
Kind of.
He saved them at the end. It is kind of stupid in inclusion, like he's just kicking the ball at the start into the house. But I liked it quite a bit. I thought they did the horror. I just think it's way better. Maybe I should lower it to like a 7 out of 10, but just compared to the other Saw movies,
I was really hyped. Like until right after he realizes that he got scammed and is like about to go kill all these people, I was excited because I thought it was gonna be like really good. But no, it's just all of them trapped in one room and you see them.
Yeah, I don't like how they do it one by one. They typically don't do that in Saw movies. They kind of did it with that new one we were watching when they're all together and dying one by one.
I liked the eye trap. No, not the eye trap.
One
No, the one with the bombs in.
Oh yeah, and he has to rip them out.
It was more like the OG Saw traps, and I thought that one was done pretty well.
A lot of good in this movie, a lot of bad. You have some very good points, so I can see why you don't like this. But this next one, very interesting, but very disappointing one. I can't even do the 3, 2, 1 for this one. You got to do it.
Yeah, you're right. The Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Five Nights at Freddy's review. Five Nights at Freddy's ratings in 3, 2, 1. 3 out of 10.
Movies. We recently did a rewatch with our friend Isaiah. We were very hyped for this movie. We're FNAF fans. We've played all the games. We just played Help Wanted 2. You just played both of the VR. We got to talk about maybe next episode or something. Because we've been going for a minute. But we're huge FNAF fans. We know about all the lore and stuff. We know what this movie could have been, and it was just another bad video game representation.
I think it's getting way too much hype, and because of the hype and love it's getting, we're going to get pretty much the same thing again.
Same director. Scott did make some threads saying he is paying attention to the... Excuse me. He's paying attention to critiques.
I hope he's not being biased and just taking the people who love its word for it and are really paying attention to the critiques and what the critics are saying and not really what the fans are saying. Because wow, this movie had a lot of potential too, because I feel like the FNAF franchise would have been very hard to do a good movie on, but still, I was thinking of ways, and I think they really could have done a great job.
Yeah,
but
we
they
could have
didn't.
done a great job.
Okay.
But they should have. It's just, oh man. It's like a lot of people are saying this movie is made for the fans. I feel like they made it for the FNAF fans who don't play the games, and like they're just kind of like I feel like, yeah, they try to go for a much lighthearted tone, but it just felt like watching this movie, it just felt like a slap in the face to the people who played and grew up with the games. It just felt like they were making a movie for like a different type of FNAF fans.
I know exactly what you mean. I feel like it was targeting more of the FNAF fans that liked the characters
and like haha, Freddy looked funny.
Yeah, like the like kind of the fan fiction side of,
and those
the
same
FNAF
people
base,
are defending those same people are defending the pillow fort scene.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, they're kids and they're trying to make Abby comfortable, but you don't see that happen in any of the games. Like, yeah, they're kids in the games too. You see any of that happen? No. Like, there's just, I brought this example up, like Man of Steel being a terrorist, and Man of Steel, some things you shouldn't do. Batman killing people and Batman v Superman, there's just some things you should not do. And one of the, especially not show, like, I think the animatronics look great. I like how they move around and stuff, very fluid, but it completely takes away from that horror and supernatural
aspects.
But yeah, this movie's so disappointing.
And even because I'm just playing like Help Wanted right now, the VR games, you see them move, but it's
glimpses.
Yeah, glimpses. They move a bit and then the camera shuts off, or they move a bit and then, like, you just see them in the corner of your eye and you shut the door or something, you know?
Like, something I would use to describe the first, like, 4 FNAF games is their very dark tone. The FNAF pizzeria is bright, neon, kind of going for, like, a more, not futuristic vibe, but more modern vibe as opposed to, like, an old, tore-down pizzeria. And the pizzeria is tore down anyway, so why not just make it look like the FNAF one? Like, I don't want to spend time on this terrible movie. You want to move on to the next one? Is there anything you have to say about this?
No. I mean, of course, a lot of things I could say, but
yeah, we'd be talking about it all day.
We've already done a whole video on it.
Go check out our FNAF review.
Let's move on to the Marvels.
The Marvels.
Yes. Let me find it.
The Marvels ratings.
I just said it. Okay.
You do it. You do it.
Okay. The Marvels ratings, and 3, 2, 1, 5 out of 10. Yes. Movie did have some fun aspects to it. The
first Captain Marvel, boring, dull, lame, not anything memorable. Characters suck. The Marvels, fun, wacky. Like, I'm entertained the whole time. It's just, villain sucked.
Story kind of faltered.
Story felt like there was some stuff they definitely needed to touch up on. One of the shorter Marvel movies, and we like shorter movies, but this one feels a little rushed. Captain Marvel, still find
bad.
Her too
Monica
likable.
Rambeau
is really side character, and spoilers, they decided to like kill her off and send her into the X-Men universe at the end, which I like how they're bringing in the X-Men.
Yeah, but the Monica Rambeau stuff just kind of didn't really care for.
Miss Marvel brings this movie up probably all 5 points for me. I thought she was funny. I thought her interactions and everything was great. I liked the way her powers worked. Do you think so? One of the biggest issues we had with this movie is they didn't do enough of the power entanglement stuff.
Yes.
And then we were talking about we're excited that Deadpool 3 is the only movie coming out next year, because it's just like I has been watching all of the Marvel stuff since the first Avengers, keeping up with all of it. Once these shows started coming in, it is just too much. Like, I'm pretty sure 5 or 6 shows came out in 2021, like Loki, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, WandaVision, like a bunch of stuff just coming out. And then we were talking about how I'm glad they're doing less, and like we're looking forward to more. So that made me kind of think about this movie. Do you think that it is a good thing they left us wanting more of that power entanglement stuff, because I kind of thought about it like that, but then at the same time, it's like, yeah, you left me wanting more, but you should have just done it in the movie then.
Yeah, of course. No, that's not a good thing because they get rid of it. It's not like they're going to bring it back.
And they get rid of it for almost no reason. It's like, what? You did all this stuff just to get rid of it?
Yeah.
Really? It's not coming back because they get rid of it.
They could have, they get rid of it. And then, like, why get rid of it? Because it's actually a really cool aspect that they could have used as a trio.
Like, just like Shang-Chi, very fun fighting stuff, but by the third act, you just fumble it.
Of course.
CGI is fine, not the best looking Marvel movie, but really cringy. Like we talked about it, the musical scene is really cringy. Don't want to spend too much time on this one. Anything you want to say about the Marvels?
Fight scenes were good.
Fight scenes were fine. Very fun, entertaining movie. Probably bottom 10 MCU, but I don't think it's terrible.
Next up,
Thanksgiving ratings 3, 2, 1.
4 out of 10. I've lowered it because I realized it's not that great.
Let's hear your take on the movie.
So better than a FNAF movie because it's not as disappointing and as stupid, but it's pretty dull. It's pretty dull for a horror film. It's just this slasher horror guy. I thought the twist was pretty
dumb. Uninteresting.
Yeah, dumb, uninteresting.
Lackluster.
And I expected the twist. I actually
because with horror movies, you're anticipating a twist.
Of course.
It seems like they were kind of building up the one, but then it's revealed it's the cop dude.
Yeah, and I knew that because like when I look for twists in movies, I'm always like, it's gonna be the person that the main character is trusting the most. So I was like, the cop. And also, you get a scene where he's looking out, and you can see his eyes in the mirror. And those eyes looked exactly like the cop. So I was like, that's the cop.
It's just don't like give us hints, but don't give it like, don't basically tell us. Like, don't shove it in our faces like that. Gore's great. Very Waffle House level. The Black Friday opening, super fun. The lady getting cooked alive, super fun.
They're like Jello though. Just like a slight, like you pull their hair a little bit, their whole scalp falls off.
Yeah, it's wacky though. The trampoline scene's fun.
It is fun. Yeah,
very fun movie, just not very good. It's not very scary. It's like the whole thing is it's taking that classic cheesy 80s horror movie slasher trope and putting it into a modern society.
Yeah.
Characters are forgettable. I can't even remember the main character's name, and then the review we did, she was the only one I could remember, but I forgot a lot from that movie. Fine horror movie. Not really fine horror movie. Bad horror movie, but fun movie. The Boy and the Heron is next, I believe.
Okay, yes, The Boy and the Heron.
The Boy and the Heron. You do the countdown for this one.
So, The Boy and the Heron review. The Boy and the Heron ratings in 3, 2, 1. 5.5 out of 10.
4 out of 10. I had it at 5, but I'm gonna go with the 4.
No, that's fair. I understand why.
Like I said, I like the opportunities animated movies can do. I like the animation in this movie, but I think it is quite boring.
It made no sense.
This movie put me to sleep. Like you saw me, I could barely. It was hard to stay awake because it was just like so soothing. Not much. You have this stacked cast of Robert Pattinson, Dave Bautista, Christian Bale, everybody. Then there's only like 10-20% dialogue in the movie. Yeah. Most of it is just show, not tell. Did you feel?
So I thought the story was very weird. There
confusing.
Was very confusing story. I felt like it was just very random for the most part. With like Spider-Verse, you had a very cohesive story. This one I feel like is just random,
all over the place.
Relating to the animation, it just tried to focus on animation and beauty rather than
an actual good story,
good compelling story. And I thought the main character was good. He was a good setup for a main character, but he kind of just didn't really speak much, and
he's not that interesting.
Didn't become really interesting at all. And there were really, for me, no stakes. He kind of just figured out what's happening, went home with his mother, and they became a family. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it sucks. It doesn't make us want to watch Spirited Away or like The Lost to the other movies, to Tortono, which you know which one I'm talking about. But like, there's some of the highest rated movies of all time. No interest. I already don't like anime, and watching this movie just makes me even less interested in it.
Yep, I I don't understand why this movie is so praised. Maybe
Yeah.
we missed something.
Yeah, I think like I don't want to fall like it felt very confusing to me, but like maybe we're just missing something, like you said.
Maybe something was lost in
Yeah,
translation.
but
I don't
I don't know. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom
Find
ratings.
this.
You do the 3, 2, 1 once you find
Okay.
it.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom review in 3, 2, 1, 6 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, fine.
Fun sequel. All it needed to be. It's Aquaman. Shouldn't expect much.
One thing I was really hoping for after the first movie was a Black Man. That's his name, Black Man.
Black Man and
Black Manta.
do actually do something
Yeah,
cool.
for Black Manta to actually do something good and be a good villain. I feel like he was extremely underused in both the first movie and the second movie.
They set him up perfectly in the first movie. Don't do anything.
He was meant to be the main villain in the second movie,
And
and
then
yet it was pretty much this entire new underground
Mm-hmm.
Lost Kingdom civilization that was just controlling him.
A lot
which
of
was
it's
stupid.
spent. Aquaman has to get this new suit and everything. You know, gotta sell toys, so you got to get the new suit and everything. And he has to go save his brother. Strongest part of the movie, I think we could agree, the brother's pretty funny. I think
I agree.
Aquaman and the brother's relationship is pretty strong. Seeing them together do wacky stuff is fun. Action's fine. Like the aspect of them being underwater is the aspect of them being used underwater is done fine. Like
I feel
the
like
first
this
one.
movie still looks beautiful like the first one. Still looks really great.
Like we said, this is where all the budget to the Flash went to. They put it all into their final movie. They look beautiful, I guess. But yeah, Aquaman 2 looks really good.
Yeah, it's just the third act for this movie really fell off.
Little rushed.
It didn't really feel like an ending. It felt more like a mid-battle scene, and when it ended, I was pretty surprised.
But it's fine. Like I said, all this needed to be was it's a rather lackluster but fine send off for the DCEU. RIP
Definitely.
DCEU. Last movie that we saw in 20. This one came out a little bit earlier for other people, but it came out December 1st for us. So Godzilla. Ooh, yeah, Godzilla. This came out before Aquaman, so we should have done that, but it's fine. Godzilla minus one ratings. 3, 2, 1, 9 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10.
So you're slightly higher on this one.
Love this movie.
Great movie. We have a review ready to upload. You'll probably get that review. Like we'll upload earlier than Sunday. Probably get an early Wednesday or Tuesday episode.
So
or
we
something.
won't spend too long on this.
Yeah, but
I thought the characters were fantastic, especially the main character. Such a compelling story, such a compelling backstory.
realistic. They don't like the main positive is they do the human characters well. Like
Yes.
when you're rooting for the humans to kill Godzilla, you know they did a good job because you haven't seen much of the Godzilla other stuff, but it's always, oh my god, these humans suck. Godzilla,
Focused
please
on
just kill
Godzilla.
them. But
Yeah.
you want the hero to win. Like they make Godzilla a bad guy, no anti-hero bull crap.
Yeah.
And this movie's good. Great acting, great shots. Like, the Black Rain scene we talked about, like just stuff like that's very good. They sparingly use Godzilla. $15 million budget. I don't know if that translates
Which is
differently
crazy.
American their currency, but still that's only like a couple 100,000 million more dollars.
Yeah,
but
and if you compare that to like Marvel movies with being like $200 million budget,
it's just like, what are they doing with all that money?
Exactly.
Great movie.
Yeah, props to directors, super good.
Just because I'm not big on anime at all.
I'm not big on Godzilla at all. This is my first Godzilla fan in a movie, and I love it.
Like I know so many people are gonna be turned off by this movie just because it's Japanese subtitles. Like, don't. It doesn't matter. Like
exactly.
If you like, it doesn't like you're so locked in. You want to read the subtitles, and like it's just. Don't let it scare you. Please go see it. Like I'm not big on anime. I get it. You don't want to watch stuff that's different, but this worth it.
This movie deserves all the praise.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's still in theaters, go see it in theaters.
It's almost out of theaters probably by now because it came out
Spectacular.
like a month ago.
I'm glad you liked it. I know it's way higher on your 2023 list
Of course,
than mine. But
yes.
Are you ready to do the 2023 list?
So should we alternate or should we just list?
We'll go one at a
turns
time. Least best. So worst movie of 20. So start from your worst movie of 2023 and all the way to the best movie of 2023.
Okay, so I'll just go all of them right now. All right, 2020. Okay, 2023 movies listed. Okay, from worst to best. Worst movie 24, Barbie. at a 2 out of
Thank
10.
God.
23, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania at a 2.5 out of 10. 22, Five Nights at Freddy's at a 3 out of 10. 21, Insidious, The Red Door at a 3.5 out of 10. 20, Thanksgiving at a 4 out of 10. 10, Blue Beetle at a 4.5 out of 10. 18, The Marvels. 18, The Marvels at a 5 out of 10. 17, Super Mario Bros. At a 5.5 out of 10. 16, Saw X at 5.5 out of 10. 15, The Boy and the Heron at a 5.5 out of 10. 14, Cocaine Bear at a 5.5 out of 10. 13, Past Lives at a 5.5 out of 10.
Over a few of those.
12,
It's crazy.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom at a 6 out of 10. 11, Flash at a 6.5 out of 10. 10, Dungeons and Dragons at a 7 out of 10.
Not there.
9, Elemental at a 7.5 out of 10. 8, TMNT Mutant Mayhem at an 8 out of 10. 7, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at a 9 out of 10. 6, Dumb Money at a 9 out of 10. 5, Air at a 9 out of 10. 4, Talk to Me at a 9 out of 10. 3, Oppenheimer at a 9.5 out of 10. 2, Godzilla Minus One at a 9.5 out of 10. Almost gave it a 10 out of 10, too.
Fair. Great movie.
And then my favorite movie of this year, at number 1, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse out of 10 out of 10.
Good list. My two issues. I think The Flash is quite stronger than Dungeons and Dragon, and Saw X under Cocaine Bear, Past Lives, and Boy and the Heron's a little bit crazy. But we talked about it. You gave out some fair points.
Yeah.
Pretty good list. Like, if I could rate that list, it's like a B+, maybe even an A-. Very good list.
If you would have like forced me to move something, I guess I would move Past Lives down. I think that's it. Flash, I need to rewatch. That's all I can say. I like my list.
Great list. And here's mine. So, starting with number 25, worst movie of 2023. This is my 2023 Critical Jayden's 2023 cinema ranked list, starting with number 25, the worst movie of 2023, Barbie at a 1 out of 10. 24, the Super Mario Bros. Movie at a 2 out of 10. 23, Past Lives at a 3 out of 10. 22, Blue Beetle at a 3 out of 10. 21, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania at a 3 out of 10. 20, Five Nights at Freddy's at a 3 out of 10. 19, Thanksgiving with a 4 out of 10. 18, The Boy and the Heron with a 4 out of 10. 17, Knock at the Cabin with a 4 out of 10. 16, Dungeons and Dragons with a 5 out of 10. 15, The Marvels with a 5 out of 10. 14, a lot of 5 out of 10s. 14, Cocaine Bear with a 5 out of 10. 13, Renfield with a 6 out of 10. I'll probably lower that to a 5.55 out of 10. 12, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, 6.5 out of 10. Number 11, Dumb Money, 7 out of 10. 10, Saw X, 7.5 out of 10. Number 9, Elemental at an 8 out of 10. 8, these 8 and 7 was a hard one to do, but I'm going to stick with my instinct. Okay. I'm going to go with 8, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with an 8 out of 10. And 7, The Flash with both 8 out of 10s. Both, I think both are on equal footing. But I think Flash has some really redeemable aspects despite all the bull crap that's in it. But I really like the Flash. 6, Oppenheimer, 9 out of 10. 5, Godzilla Minus One, 9 out of 10. 4, Air, 9 out of 10. 3, Talk to Me, 9 out of 10. 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, 9.5 out of 10. Across the Spider-Verse, 9.5 out of 10. The best movie of all time, best movie of 2023. I think we had some pretty good 2023 lists.
Yeah.
I think we did good. We went to we went to the theaters about 13, 12 times this year. Saw the rest of them on streaming and whatnot. This was how would you summarize? If you could summarize this year of movies in one word, what would you say?
Highest highs, lowest lows.
That's 4 words, but I'll give it to you. that was a good. Yeah, that's exactly what I would say. High highs, very low lows. Best year of movies since 2018. 2018 had some bangers like Into the Spider-Verse, Infinity War. I'm pretty sure Aquaman even came out 2018. I know a bunch of other stuff. I think Parasite was 2018. I think it was 2019. But Yeah, 2018 had some great stuff.
Let's hope 2024 is just as good as
Yeah.
as a year for movies and the channel.
So, speaking of 2024, is there any particular movies of 2024 that you're looking forward to coming out?
I'm looking forward to Deadpool. I'm looking forward to Kung Fu Panda 4. Yeah, I haven't watched Kung Fu Panda in a long time. I'm looking forward to it. What else is coming out? I'm looking forward to Beyond the Spider-Verse,
Hell yeah.
of course. I don't know if that's coming out. In
Like we said,
though.
delay it. I don't think it's coming out 2024.
Right.
It might, but I want to play a little game. Last segment before we end off this episode. Great job. I think we did great list. Great discussions. Will it make $1 billion? So I have about 10, 15 movies here that are coming out in 2024, and I'm gonna tell you them. 3, 2, 1. You're gonna tell me if you think it'll make $1 billion.
All right.
So starting off, Kraven the Hunter, which is a part of the Sony verse villains, like part of Morbius, the Venom universe.
Yeah.
Do you think Kraven the Hunter will make $1 billion?
No.
3, 2, 1.
No.
Yeah, no. I'm not. It's rated R, so it's looking like it's gonna be kind of like a rated R Morbius vibes. Might be fun. I don't think it's gonna do well. Don't see the point to keep doing these Spider-Man villain movies.
Exactly.
But yeah, definitely easy. Not gonna make $1 billion. Venom 3. Will Venom 3 make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
No.
Definitely not. But
Yeah.
I'm a little bit hyped. Obviously, we hate Venom 2, but I'm kind of like the first Venom. You don't hate it. I'm interested to see what they do for a third one. Just bring in Spider-Man. Just do it. That's what everybody wants. Is that what if they do bring in a Spider-Man? How would you want them to do it? And which Spider-Man do you want?
Which Spider-Man? I guess Tom Holland Spider-Man, because that's like the most relevant Spider-Man now. Why would you bring in the older Spider-Man?
It's like really a different universe. You don't think they should do Andrew or something?
I don't know. I'd love Toby. I'd love Andrew. I'd love anything.
Just bring in Spider-Man. That's what Venom 3 needs to be. Madam Web. Will Madam Web make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
That's making $2. Yeah,
it's the trailer looked whack. Kind of looked a little bit like not even made by official studio. Like it looked really like kind of like a YouTuber film.
Yeah, it looked like Spider-Man Lotus.
No disrespect, but Madam Web doesn't look great. But maybe it'll be interesting. Will Deadpool 3 make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
I think Deadpool 3 has a very strong chance.
Yeah, a strong chance. It's probably not. Honestly.
Maybe not, because, the state Marvels.
Oh, and it's rated R.
Yeah, but Joker made $1 billion.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know
one of
that.
the highest grossing DC movies. I think the first Deadpool made like $1 billion, but this one has a good chance. Really excited to see how they do Deadpool in the MCU, but glad you think it'll make $1 billion. Now, Mufasa. Did you ever see the live action Lion King? They're doing a sequel to it.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, did you like it?
Uh,
I never saw it. Do you think the sequel, Mufasa, will make $1 billion?
No.
3, 2, 1?
No.
Yeah. How much did I think the live action Lion King was one of the highest grossing movies of all time? I believe.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've heard not great things from it.
Well, after that reputation, I don't think it's gonna make it any more money.
But yeah, not too looking forward to see Mufasa. This one, I hope you'll say yes. Will Inside Out 2 make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
I hope Inside Out.
it does. Of
hope
course.
It does. Love the
it
first
might
Inside
not,
Out.
But yeah, Inside Out was great.
What are you looking forward to Inside Out?
I'm looking forward to seeing the characters again. Inside Out was just I wouldn't expect there to be a sequel.
Yeah, definitely a weird one to do a sequel to. I'm glad they're giving it back to Riley. I'm glad they're not doing just some other random head. I'm glad we're going to be back with the characters that we already kind of, grew a little bit attached to. Inside Out, I think we can both agree, top 5 Pixar, really strong. So excited for the sequel. Will Despicable Me 4 make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
No.
I think, yeah. A lot of the Minion movies aren't great, but they
make a lot of money.
Always crack a bill. I think Minions Rise of Gru made a bill.
Has every Despicable Me movie cracked a bill?
Like every time they're about, you remember before Rise of Gru came out, the meme where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go in suits. Let's go see Minions: The Rise of Gru.
Oh yeah, you're right. It probably will make $1 billion.
People love Minions.
I haven't liked anything from Eliminations after Despicable Me 2.
Yeah, I'm glad you like Despicable Me 2.
Yeah, I like Despicable Me 1 and 2, and then that's it.
Yeah, the third one's bad. Minions isn't that great. Rise of Gru is just so average, not the best, but probably gonna make $1 billion. I don't think it'll be that great though. Will Beetlejuice 2 make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
No,
Have you ever seen the first
I've
Beetlejuice?
not seen it.
Very loved movie. I don't know if a sequel is what people need though, or if it will make $1 billion. Will Saw 11 make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
No.
No, obviously not. Saw makes money, but it's not gonna be $1 billion
Excited
thing.
for it though.
Yeah. I think they're gonna do like a trilogy of like a John Kramer story.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they do it a little better than they did in Saw X. But yeah, I'm excited. Dune Part 2. I don't think you saw the first Dune, but will Dune 2 make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1. No. First one, I didn't really ever care to see it. I don't think you haven't seen it. Will Kung Fu Panda 4 make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I like Kung Fu. I like Kung Fu Panda.
How do you feel about the third one?
I don't remember the third. I don't think I've ever watched the third one, but I like the first one.
First two
I
are
remember
great.
liking the second one.
Second
I don't
one's
remember
even
much
better.
from it. Yeah.
I feel like
remember
with
feeling that it's
DreamWorks, the first one's always great, a classic. Like How to Train Your Dragon 1, a classic.
DreamWorks has great
Sequels.
sequels. Yeah.
And then really bad that they're like Shrek 3, How to Train Your Dragon 3, the Despicable Me 3 is Illumination, but countless. The Secret Life of Pets 2 was like one of the. Was that DreamWorks?
No, that's Illumination.
That is Illumination.
Yeah, Illumination's the shit.
Yeah, Illumination's bad, but yeah. Don't like Kung Fu Panda 3, but first two are great. Hope it makes $1 billion. I'm excited to see it. We haven't watched the trailer yet, but we need to. But
Yeah.
Poe's a great character. Kung Fu Panda movies are good. I like the animation a lot.
Of course.
Will Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
I have no idea.
So you
I
haven't
don't know
seen
how popular this is.
They're loved movies, but they aren't particularly popular. Like they make a little bit of money, but I don't think this will make $1 billion. But I know how loved the Planet of the Apes trilogies are, and I know they're great movies. We need to watch them in preparation for this one because I think this one is like taking years after the main trilogy. But I know they're loved movies. I don't think it'll crack $1 billion. Will Ghostbusters: The Frozen Empire make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1.
No.
Saw the trailer for this one. Doesn't seem that interesting. First Ghostbusters Afterlife. I don't think you saw that one.
You didn't like it, but
One
a
of
lot
my
of people did, right?
Yeah, a lot of people did. One of my least favorite movies of all time. Thought it was incredibly boring, snooze fest. This one, I think so though. Will Godzilla X Kong make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1. I'll go maybe. Maybe.
Did Godzilla versus Kong make $1 billion?
No, but I would think a Godzilla X Kong would make quite a bit of money.
Okay, if Godzilla versus Kong didn't make it, then I don't think Godzilla X Kong is gonna make it.
Godzilla and Kong teaming up, definitely kind of an interesting premise. Like who are they fighting, But, I don't think it'll. I mean, maybe, hopefully, Godzilla Minus One was great, so I'm looking forward to more Godzilla content. But I don't think. I mean, it might. Final one. Will Sonic 3 make $1 billion? 3, 2, 1. Please.
No.
Please, hopefully. Do you hope?
Oh yeah,
though?
I hope though.
Hopefully, probably not. I don't think either.
I hope it makes $1 billion because it's so good. Everybody wants to go and see it.
We love Sonic 2. First one's not that bad. Really excited for the third one. Like probably my third or second most hyped movie of 2024. So excited for Shadow the Hedgehog. The second one's just caught me so off. Like I like seeing theaters. I saw Across the Spider-Verse multiple times in theaters. Sonic 2 is one of those movies that I saw a few times in theaters. Like I really liked Sonic 2. So excited for the third one. Please make $1 billion. Go see Sonic 3 when it comes out. But yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, Happy New Year's, guys.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I loved your list. This was a little fun segment. We got to find more little random segments to do like that. But
this episode's getting a little long.
Yeah. We're going for almost like a little over an hour and a half. But
yeah.
Man, thank you so much. Obviously couldn't do any of this without you. Had a spectacular year with you. One of the most important years of our lives, probably.
Definitely.
Like, make sure you check out, set it before the start. Check out all of our socials. Yes. Check out all of our socials in the description. What a fantastic year for movies.
Of course. And let's
hope it continues.
It continues
in 2024.
I'm very excited for this year.
You guys have a wonderful week. Have a happy new year. And get ready for this podcast and our main channel to do some crazy stuff. So, bye, guys.
See ya.